Yes, Lord. Here we are. Another day, another dollar. The Draftnerds Podcast coming to you live. Presented to you by StreamYard. It's your boy Matt, Draft Nerds himself. We got Jordan, my name won't fit. Bob's guy, Draft Nerd, almost won the Draft Nerds Fantasy Football League this year. But almost doesn't count. And then we got War Eagle.
Let's go.
It's
Coach
time, in the building. He's ready
go.
to rock. Hey, and as they say out there, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. And on that note, we off and running. And y'all know how we start the show. We always go, and everybody gives their what's on your mind. So, Coach, I'm gonna start with you. What's on your mind? What's got your wheels turning today?
Man, hey, some of the things that got my wheels turning is the coaching selections. Some of the things that's transpiring. Some kids elected not to come out of the draft or come out in the draft. Some kids going back to school. Some guys basically trying to get more eligibility years and whatnot. So I'm thinking about, hey, who's going to finally be in the draft, and then how people are going to look after the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl happens. So
let's go. All right, Joe, what's on your mind?
I have a few things. So first off, Trinidad Jam was currently in a lawsuit. That's my guy. But the other note is it's been such a long time since I've seen the two top edge rushers in the world be at a Senior Bowl because they just want to compete against each other. That's pretty cool to be able to see that. It's been a while since we've been seeing people like that. The other side, kind of what Coach alluded to, people opting in and out of the draft. Will we see more D2 guys that have rarely gotten these opportunities? Is it a big opportunity for the world itself? We'll see how the future dictates itself.
All right. Listen. You want to know what's on my mind? This is on my mind. This gentleman right here is on my mind. Baltimore Ravens, do the right thing. Okay? This is on my mind. This is on my heart. This is on the mind of all the Raven maniacs out there. The Ravens flock maniacs. This is what's on our mind, man. Quit Kubiak. So look, there's a speculation that Jesse Minter may be the next head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. They may be smitten with him. Heard that he had a great interview, and he's a good young coach. I'll give him that. I'm not denying that. But this gentleman needs an interview. He needs an interview. I have pontificated on this show multiple times about this gentleman, have shown you film breakdowns of why his system would be the best thing for our team. How his perfect balance and symmetry of run and pass game married together into this perfect, beautiful ball of clay of football genius that allows the quarterback to play efficiently, allows the quarterback to play cleanly, and allows the quarterback to not always have to throw in a cape to win you games. This is what the Ravens need. This is what the organization needs for the next 10 years. So what? He's not a rah-rah guy. I don't care if he stands on tables. I don't care if he screams and shouts. I care about results. And Ravens flock, I'm sure they would agree with me, that we want results. We want a Super Bowl. I don't care if the guy says 2 words. Bill Belichick wasn't a man of many words. He won a lot of championships. Guys like Rex Ryan talks all day long, ain't won a goddamn thing. So just keep that in perspective when we're downing a coach because he doesn't have a huge personality. Personalities don't win you games. Coaching does.
The old idea.
And I salute you.
I think it's like the old idea is right. It's like, hey, the only time you need to speak is if your actions can't speak for themselves. And if your actions are good enough to speak for themselves, then why do you need to be the biggest speaker in the world? If you bring in a system that's going to crush everything, then nothing else matters. Because that's not you talking to the media, not you talking to your team.
Jordan bombs.
If they have
dropping
nothing,
Jordan bombs.
if they have nothing to question, then you never have to talk in the first place, right?
Hey man, one more time. Jordan bombs. Hey man, listen, that's what it's about, right? Like, I'm sure Jesse Minter's a fine coach, and if that's the way they go, that's the way they go. But this man right here on your screen deserves a second interview. He deserves a second interview, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay. All right. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the coach conversation. And coach, since we're talking about coaches, we're going to talk to you about this. What do you think about some of the recent hires around the NFL? Let's start with the one in Tennessee, Robert Saleh, to the Titans. Do you like the fit? Do you not like the fit? Why?
He's one of the ones that I can't say yet until I see how the rest of his staff feels out, right? Because we're talking, yeah. If him just being there in the overall hierarchy that he brings with it, I can be like, yeah, he's a great coach. Been on some great staffs, yada yada yada, and so forth and so on. But if he starts to bring in guys that are at his coordinator spots that have previous head coach experience, now I'm going to look at him like, hey, all right, now that may move the needle. The other thing is who is going to be his developmental guys, because we all know, like, hey, yeah, you can have a great draft, you can have a great free agency, but you need people to buy in, you need people to take the next step, right? And I feel like if he brings those type of people with him, then I'll be like, hey, you know what? I will be more in tune with what he's doing in Tennessee. As of right now, I'm intrigued because of Jeffrey Simmons and Saleh together. I think they could do some really good things. But it's going to be. First thing I'm looking at is, hey, what else are you going to bring along with just yourself? Like if you go to turn around and say, hey, and I'm just spitballing here, he was to turn around and bring a guy like an Al Harris with you. And I got it. He's on the Bears staff, but if you was to pluck a guy like that out and say, hey, come be my co-DC, now we talking about, oh, wait a minute now, because that could significantly move the needle. But as of right now, I would say if I had to put it in a percentage, I would say I'm 60% of, hey, I like this particular hire. It'll be more if I see what he goes after in free agency and what he brings along. Because that division, to be honest with you, it can go either way. It can go either way. With a couple draft picks, a couple free agent pickups, Tennessee could be right in the thick of things.
To me, it comes down to he has to nail the OC pick. The OC hire has to nail it. He did not nail the OC hire in New York, which is why his time there didn't last very long, or it wasn't productive, right? Because while the defense was amazing, because that's where he cut his teeth, that's where he's known for, the offense was underwhelming. And I think in order for a Robert Saleh-led football team to thrive in the way that I'm sure he wants it to, he has to nail the OC pick. Many people had speculated that Mike McDaniel would follow him wherever he went. Mike McDaniel had just agreed to go to the Chargers, so that's not going to happen. We know Cliff Kingsbury has been connected to Minter and Weaver and other people like that, so that might not happen. Now, there was a report that Brian Daboll said that if he didn't get the Bills job, that he would then take the OC job with Tennessee. So Brian Daboll could be his OC. Jordan, what's your thoughts about that? Brian Daboll being the OC in Tennessee. You think he could run a good enough offense, him matched up with Cam Ward, while Saleh takes the defense?
It's been such a weird situation for me, right? Because like one thing everybody in this group knows, everybody who's ever watched me knows that I'm the Cam Ward guy. I adore Cam Ward. Probably adore Cam Ward more than any quarterback in the world that's not Lamar Jackson. Like, I just love him to death. I love his story. I love everything about him. The one thing I think with this is I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of the hire, but at the same time, I think when you're Tennessee and there's 10 openings available, beggars can't be choosers. You have to like pick the first thing that you see that's stable, right? Like you look at your other finalists and it's like Matt Nagy and Jason Garrett and stuff like that. Like I don't want to deal with that. I would much rather deal with where Robert Saleh's at than anything in that realm of possibility. So, like, out of all those guys, I can't say that it's like a bad hire because, like, compared to everything else that you had to the second round, this is 10 times better than where we're at. Right. So it's like, okay, you're telling me this is instead of Jason Garrett, Matt Nagy. Okay, we take a step back. We decide differently. But the other side is like, yeah, there's some point of view that's like kind of trying to settle. That being said, you bring Dayball in. That's a lot better than you're supposed to get as Tennessee. Because like you shouldn't have like your pick of the litter of everything that's happening. You're kind of settling to an extent, but you also have to understand the landscape of the Steelers, Buffalo, and Ravens having all these open spots right now. So like you have to kind of realize where you're at. And that's kind of what the Browns and the Cardinals and the Miami, even to an extent, haven't realized. And so it's like if you're taking that step back, like, hey, I'm not going to be the first choice. But you know what? I'm going to bring stability in. And that's what Cam Ward needs more than anything in the world is just some sense of stability. He doesn't need everything to work out perfectly fine, but he needs somebody who's better than what they had last year. And that staff alone already is 10 times better than what they had last year. Like, even though Robert Saleh, I'm not sure what it's going to do. I'm not sure how the staffing is going to work. I'm not sure how the cap situation is going to work. You have a ton of money to spend. You have your franchise quarterback. You have Jeffrey Simmons. Everything else is up in the air for you to create and up to you in the air to build. And it's a lot easier than a lot of places. I think it's a little bit of a like scary risk, but compared to the other scary risks that were rumored to the Titans, this is 10 times a better spot.
Absolutely. Okay, I mean, it'd be interesting. I think it'd be a good. I think Dayball has enough experience as an OC that I think he could help Saleh. He could run the offense. He has both guys have head coach experience. Ironically enough, both coaches were head coaches in New York. So they can draw from those experiences to help each other out and try to build something in Tennessee. They do got some good pieces, Cam Ward, Jeffrey Simmons. They've got some stuff. Excuse me, in my opinion, to work with. I like Shamir Dike. I like him. They got some talented running backs and Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears. I know Chig, the tight end, is a free agent. They need some other guys. But yeah.
Yeah, if I'm them, what's his name? Calvin Ridley is the first person I'm going to go talk to. Hey man, you want to stay here or not? What's the deal with you? Because that kind of a fall off, it almost needs to be studied. Towards it was like I got it. He had some injuries and whatnot, but still, when he was there, it was like, man, what are we gonna get? What are we gonna get from you? So I felt like, hey, that's a particular guy that they can say, hey, look, if you don't feel like you got anything else, hey, we're trying to find you a new place, and then we build in all the guys that we want, and in that way, you're not holding a guy for say hostage until his contract runs out. You let him give him liberty to where he wants to go and try and find him a place, find him a new home. There are some free agent wide receivers that they can look at and target that's not going to break the bank. Like if I'm them, I'm not pursuing George Pickens because I know he's going to be the hottest wide receiver in this free agent cycle that people are going to be looking at. But if I'm looking at trade targets as well, some of the guys that want to find new homes, I'm trying to see what that looked like. So
AJ Brown back to Tennessee.
That would be interesting because a lot of people think he's going to try and go get back with Mike Vrabel in New England, and then a lot of people talking about him potentially getting traded to Baltimore. Shocker, true knee slapper, right? Most of the wide receivers that become free agents or disgruntled, everybody forecasts them to come to the Baltimore Ravens. This would be another name on the almost Ravens roster that we got going on.
They won't be. They won't be Ravens till they're 34, guys. We've dealt with this.
Right.
But like one thing I want to say on your Calvin Ridley, really interesting. Calvin Ridley, because like Calvin Ridley is one of those guys where if you go back a year ago before Cam Ward was there, every single advanced statistic that you want to look at, that's why like analytics are sometimes wrong, by the way. every single advanced analytic you want to look at favored Calvin Ridley to have a huge breakout year. Like, he had insane separation scores. It was just, and then you watch Will Levis throw, you're like, okay, like, this isn't going to work. This doesn't make any sense. But then the moment Will Levis left, all of a sudden you realized maybe it wasn't just the targets. Maybe it just wasn't the aspect of where he was at. Maybe he can separate, but it doesn't matter if he could separate. And that's what becomes really interesting about it. Because, like, more than anything, Cam Ward just needs any semblance of help on that offense at all. Like, there's some interesting pieces, I guess, to an extent. But you can't tell me with a shadow of a doubt that there isn't 10 positions on that team that can't be upgraded right now, if I'm being honest, on that offense. Like, they have guys, sure, but, like, you could do way better than that, too.
So, what about Stefanski in Atlanta? Coach, thoughts?
Man, I don't like this one. Having lived in the state, having been around that particular team for quite some time, I don't like this one. Because in certain cities, around certain teams, your team got to match your coach got to match your city, right? I.e., hey, look, I see Stefanski down at one of the local establishments. He looked like he belongs in Atlanta, right? When it comes down to, hey, how we view our team and whatnot. I also, don't like it for the simple fact of what they have. He's more of a offensive guy, if I remember. He's more of an offensive guy, and they have young defensive pieces that need just as much development. So I want to see what he's going to bring in as well. And that's where I'm kind of hesitant, because now we're losing the little bit of strides that we did make, the flashes in the pan that we did have on the defensive side of it. But now I am happy to see this, because now do we go get another bona fide receiver to put beside Drake London, and then now we can kind of open the offense up. And then the other part of the reason why I don't like it is because we do know he has issues with quarterbacks, right? Is he going to come? Who's he going to try and invest in? Is he going to go in free agency and get a quarterback? Is he going to believe in Michael Penix? Because we all know the stuff that happened with Shador. People been beating on the table saying, hey, look, why don't you give this guy opportunity? And we don't know what was really true or what not. We don't know if he was playing with the one or practicing with the ones or any of that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like, are you going to buy into your complete team, or are you going to alienate certain players because you don't believe they have the tools in their tool bag? And that's where I have a little bit of hesitancy with this particular hire.
Okay. Jordan, your thoughts in short?
And part of it is, like, I agree with Coach in a lot of extent. Like, I don't think it provides optimism for, like, the Falcons fans, but I think it does provide stability, which they haven't had in a while. I think a lot of the time he gets dogged for a lot of things that necessarily weren't his fault. While I agree with much of what Coach was saying about, like, the situations and, like, the decisions he was making, I'd also argue that the Browns' infrastructure doesn't help with making those decisions, right? And so, like, that's a big aspect to me. It's like, and I wouldn't say Atlanta's, like, that much better of an infrastructure.
Oh, hold on. Breaking news.
Oh, yeah.
The Ravens have hired Jesse Minter as head coach. Hold on, we gotta stop.
Yeah.
Right, so
yeah, let's change around.
all right. Well, as we're on the coaching conversation, the Ravens have officially hired Jesse Minter as head coach. It looks like my source was right this morning.
He was right. Jesse Minter. Breaking news. Jesse Minter is now the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. Looks like my source was correct this morning. I hate that he was correct. I wish he was wrong. That means they decided to not give Clint Kubiak another interview. That means that what he said about Cliff Kingsbury is also probably true, and Cliff Kingsbury is going to be the Ravens' new OC. For those in spaces who hear me, we're live right now on the podcast. So if you hear me talking in this way, it's because I'm talking to our audience as well as you guys.
So this morning I reported on my space that a source that I have close to the organization told me that Clint Kubiak was not a finalist and he wasn't getting a second interview. He also told me that he was willing to put money on the line that Jesse Minter will be hired and that Cliff Kingsbury will be his OC. Well, Jesse Minter just got hired, and looks like Cliff is on his way as well. And it looks like my source was not lying, and I wish he was, because I love Clint Kubiak, and I wish he would have got a second interview.
Mm-hmm.
I also said this morning, Jesse Minter is our new head coach. What do we like about it? What do we not like about it? Because at the end of the day, he's our head coach, and we got to start talking about the pros and the cons of the guy who's now at the head of the table.
Well, and it's funny, Matt. I told you, I'm like, at some point during this podcast, we'll talk about it, and I didn't expect it to talk about it like this.
Y'all got it, co-host. Y'all got it over there. We're gonna discuss over here on the pod. So, anybody want to hear what we have to say on the pod? Just jump, chop in.
I think Miss G
and check us out.
If
not, you guys got it on Spaces.
Well,
yeah. Wow. Hey man,
there it is.
Hey, it is what it is at this point. So. Hold
on, real quick. Jesse Minter is the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. Wow. Woo. That just happened while live on the air. As we were talking about Stefanski to the Falcons. Coach.
Wow.
You got it. I need to go refill my glass.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you pontificate on your thoughts.
Wow. So hey, first off, if you got your source's address, you need to send your source's address a lump of coal. I know it's not Christmas, but you like, look, right, man, hey, we wanted that second interview, but hey, it is what it is. I can't sit here and say I'm mad at the hire. I want to see what the rest of his staff is going to look like. I know the Ravens blocked a couple of positions for getting interviews and whatnot. So I would like to see how this staff rounds out, particularly the D-line coach, the linebacker coach, the secondary coach, what those guys going to look like. Are we going to change wide receiver coaches? I know Taggart was looking at getting interviewed. We're going to keep him on staff as the running back coach. So again, there's a lot of different pieces that we need to be looking at and saying, hey, look, what does Minter staff looks like moving forward? Because my goodness, man, Ravens pulled the trigger. I can't be mad at the Ravens for pulling the trigger and making a decision. So, hey, kudos to the Ravens. They told us they were going to be aggressive. And by golly, hey, they were aggressive. So they got their guy.
I mean, on that extent, yeah. I mean, like Matt was talking about it earlier. I think everybody in this group has heard some rumorings of something. The interesting point and what I will point back on, and like this is the one thing where I want to get, because I know me and Matt were talking about it earlier. We're going to talk about the positives of Jesse Minter versus like just trying to acknowledge like everything of why we like Kubiak, why we like this, and why we like that. So let's start with some things like right away. I mean, you've seen some of our players alone. Like you see Away go to Minter, all of a sudden he's a 10 times different player than what we've ever seen. What I will say with him is to me, like the scared part. So like, I'll start with like the small con. I feel like you are chasing the ghost of Mike McDonald. That is the one thing that scares me about this hire. That being said, I'm sure that they had to convince Lamar in some kind of offensive hiring that like this is what they wanted to do. I trust their process. When we've had only this many head coaches over this amount of time, you have to trust their process, right? Like no matter like how many people are going to crash out on Spaces because they decided they loved one guy or like every other aspect of everything, you have to at some point realize that like over time they've barely trusted very many people to run the Baltimore Ravens. And when they do, they're typically right. Like we've had 2 Super Bowls out of 3, right? So like that's what I'm saying. The third guy was brought in for something else. So just hold out some hope on it. The one thing I will say is like he's developed a lot of players we've had in the scheme, and he's made them look a lot better than they ever have when playing for him. what he's going to do defensively for this team is different. And like you listen to his players talk about him, they all hype him up. You listen to like different people, they all hype him up. Am I necessarily the biggest Jesse Minter guy? No. But like on the other aspect of it too, it's like, hey, they haven't failed in too many fucking decisions in terms of like picking a decision. Probably pardon my language, pardon my French. But it's like when they make a decision, they've always made a decision and it's typically been right. They're 2 Super Bowls out of 3, for the decisions. And it's just like when you look at them, it's chasing the ghost of Mike McDonald to me. Depends on his offensive staff. It depends on who he brings in. But I will tell you, like, no matter what, that defense could look a heck of a lot better than it did under Zach Orr. And there's going to be some discipline brought in. There's going to be some different things brought in. You also have to keep in mind, too, like, there's some extent of, like, I know so many people are worried about this, and I don't understand it to this day. Like, oh, he's going to bring in a Harbaugh coaching staff now. Like, we're just taking a step back. It's like, why? Why do you think that? Because, like, Mike McDonald didn't bring in a Harbaugh coaching staff. That didn't exist before. Like, he could have a different viewpoint. He's worked other places. Like, we talked about it earlier on Spaces today. He's worked with, like, Cliff Kingsbury staff. Like, he's worked with a bunch of different staffs. Now, he's just worked around Harbaugh systems his whole career. He has his own mindset. I think another aspect of it is too, like when you've worked in Los Angeles that long, even with the Chargers, like you share the same building with the Rams. You can't tell me there's not at least some level of like you meet with each other. Like there's connections there, and there's connections around everywhere you're at. I don't think it'll be a Harbaugh-like staff. I think he'll be making decisions based on his own like accord, and he'll like try to make the team best to what it is. Because like if you looked at the Seahawks, you could have said the same thing. Oh, they're gonna hire a bunch of Harbaugh staff. Well, guess what? They didn't. They hired a bunch of like who Mike McDonald saw fit. Like you signed a bunch of veteran coordinators. We're talking about a different story. We'll figure it out from here. It's not the worst thing in the world, right? It's like this is a heck of a lot better than a guy who's never called plays on either side of the ball. So it's like people are going to act like this is the worst thing that's ever happened to them. There were worse choices out there that were in your finalist. Now, like we might offensive guys on this show. Like I know me and Matt have been big offensive guys. But outside of that, it's like if you're going to pick a defensive guy, you pick a defensive guy that's been raised in this system. He was a Ravens coach at one point. I think a lot of people forget before this. And sure, people are going to be like, well, what were the DBs really back then? Well, it's like still you're raised in the system. They're going to care about you. They're going to see things. I know I've been long-winded with it, so I'll let Matt go as he's come back.
I got my yak in my mouth. Let me celebrate. Say man, shout out to Coach and Shannon Sharp, Miles and that yak. But I would say, man, again, he was one of my top 5. So it's not completely off. Like Clint was my number 1. That was my guy, right? Wanted that offense, wanted that system. But Mitchell was on that list, right? Because when people ask me, since before Harbaugh, Matt, who your top 5? Matt, who your top 5? And I would tell you, Clint Kubiak. I would tell you Brian Flores. I'd tell you Jesse Minter. Right? I was never a Shula guy. I was definitely not a Shieldhouse guy. And definitely, I'm glad it's not Davis Webb with his 3 years of experience. I was on John Gruden, but no one has given him an interview. No one's even considering him for it. I think he's done probably. And then I also liked who's the other guy I liked? Mike LaFleur. So those are the guys. So he was in my top 5. He wasn't my number 1. My number 1, absolutely, without a doubt, was Clint Kubiak. And I'm disappointed. And I said this morning. I said, if we hire Jesse without Clint getting a second interview, I'm going to be disappointed. Because I feel like you didn't do your due diligence. You didn't do, to me, what needed to make sure, like, to check every box. I don't feel like they check. Like, doing a Zoom interview while guys in the middle of a playoff run is not the same is like really interviewing the guy face to face. His season is over. The same way you had this direct access to Jesse Minter because his season ended in the wild card. What would it have been had Clint's season ended in the wild card? Would Clint be standing here as our head coach? This kind of feels like the guy that was available. We you know what I'm saying? Like I could have went for that job But because this job's available now, I'm gonna just take this job instead of going after the big fish. Now, again, one thing I said and we all said is we want a guy who calls play. We did not want another John Harbaugh CEO coach who doesn't either call plays on either side of the ball. We do have a defensive play caller now. He is the first defensive head coach in the Ravens history. So, with that being said, let's give a round of applause to Jesse Minter, who is now the first defensive head coach in the history of the organization. And I know rules who don't even know about the Ravens intimately. They're like, hold on. The Ravens have had the 2000 Ravens, the 06 defense, all these great defense. They've never had a defensive head coach. You heard it right. The Ravens have never had a defensive head coach. Ted Marchibroda, offense. Brian Billick, offense. John Harbaugh, special teams. This is your first ever defensive head coach. Now, he is really good schematically, defensively. So I am excited for our young defensive players. I'm concerned about the offense. If it's Cliff Kingsbury, I do not want a lot of quarterback run game stuff. I think we've seen enough of that under Greg Roman, too much of it under Greg Roman, and then we've seen enough of it under Monken. I want under center play action. I want outside zone running. I want getting the ball out of his hands and letting him be a point guard. That's not really Cliff. Cliff is 95% in the shotgun. He is spread him and shred him. He is, if you're a wide receiver, you're ecstatic. If you're Zay Flowers, Tez Walker, Rashard Bateman, LaJohntay Wester, or any other receiver that we may draft, Makai Lemon, you're ecstatic about the potential of Cliff Kingsbury being your OC. But if you're a Derrick Henry, I'm not so sure you're ecstatic about that. If you're Keaton Mitchell, I'm not so sure because the run game wasn't as prevalent when it needed to be in those air raid offenses than they should be. And what I think our identity is. But we do have now a defensive head coach, and maybe he says, hey, run the ball. Right? Remember, he's the man, though, right? He gets say as to, hey, it's fourth quarter, 12 minutes left. Put Lamar in the center, run the ball. Right? Like, some things that John just didn't do, right? Where he gave too much autonomy to his coordinators. I'm hoping Jesse will step in and not allow Cliff to just not run the ball. And we're assuming Clint's going to be the OC because I was told by a source close to the situation that Minter and Cliff are pairing. Also, Diana Rossini reported Cliff Kingsbury was in play, and also his name got kind of quiet after he interviewed with the Ravens. You really didn't hear his name associated with any other team, which kind of led you to believe that they've already kind of got him in their back pocket. So, one more round of applause for Jesse Minter. Listen, I don't want it to be hate towards him because he deserves a job. He deserves an opportunity. He deserves an opportunity. He deserves to be in this hiring cycle.
100.
And he is one of the finest young defensive minds out there. And he is a Raven. He started as a Raven. He's a Raven. And what does Steve say? What do we all say? Once a Raven,
always a Raven.
Always a Raven. So he's a Raven. And here's the thing. We wanted this the last part. We wanted John gone. We got that. Ravens flock. I just want to talk you off the ledge for a second. We wanted John gone. He's gone. Okay. One thing we cannot say is that we never had good assistant coaches. The Ravens have always had pretty good coaching staffs throughout the years. Now, Zach Orr, we won't even talk about that. But we've had pretty good assistant coaches, guys that we were willing to take when John was still here. I remember after that 23 season, 24 season where we were saying, yo, I think Weaver is being prepped to take over for John, right? Mm-hmm. Or we were saying like, yo, what if a guy like Minter, we would have all been happy about this 2 years ago, right? But because Kubiak has become this big thing and we're seeing like, oh, cool, Gary Kubiak, that's what we need. we've kind of forgotten that we were just 2 years removed of being okay with Weaver or Mentor being coming head coach. Anybody to precede John Harbaugh. And now that has happened. Jesse has some experience, D coordinator in college, right?
Yes.
D coordinator in the NFL, secondary coach with the Ravens. He has experience. And I'm gonna say this last part. The Chargers did not lose that game because of the defense. They were battling with they was going a band for band with the Patriots defense. It's just unfortunately the Chargers offense couldn't get out the mud. But that defense was hunting, boy. I mean, Oweh. Well, Oweh. TR.
Well, Mr. almost sacked. Almost got him.
Well, and so that's the thing. It's like, right? Like, we've seen our own players go to Jesse Minter and become a bit better. But, like, the other aspect is, like, so many Ravens fans are so terrified about this being a Harbaugh staff. It doesn't have to be. Mike McDonald didn't do that, right? It's like Mike McDonald didn't create the Harbaugh staff. Like, he's coached other players that aren't Harbaugh related. Like, he started at Notre Dame. He went to Cincinnati. He went to Indiana State. He went to, like, all these other places, Georgia State, Vanderbilt. Like, it wasn't like he was just Michigan with Jim Harbaugh and just Baltimore Ravens John Harbaugh, right? Like, he's been places. Like, for all the other guys we were talking about before this, outside of Clint Kubiak and, like, Shula, like, he's at least been other places. He has relationships that aren't just related to the Harbaugh relationships. Like, that's what we were talking about with Kingsbury. That's what we're talking about with, like, all these places. He has relationships with a bunch of different people in a bunch of different
people that you don't even know. So
I want to read. He's earned his way up. I want to
read Eric DeCosta's post about Jesse Minter. It says, "We are thrilled to announce an agreement with Jesse Minter to be the 4th head coach in Baltimore Ravens history. Jesse is a strong leader who possesses a brilliant football mind and a spirit that will resonate with our players and fan base alike. Jesse comes from a football family with success at every level of the sport, and we are confident that he is the right coach to lead the Ravens forward. Congratulations to Jesse and his wife, Rachel, and the entire Minter family. It's time to get to work." All right. So thinking about this more, they've been grooming Jesse.
Yeah,
if you think about the Ravens, they've been grooming him. This tells me Lamar signed off on this as well. Steve signed off on this as well. Remember, Steve said he would be involved in the second interview. Lamar was involved in the second interview. They both signed off on this. And remember, I said earlier in this space, everybody watching, we got 562 people watching right now. And I said in the space that when you think about the Ravens, like what that's the signing off of Lamar, of Steve Bisciotti, all these guys signing off on this. Remember, I said they probably made a compromise with Lamar, just like when free agency came in, he wanted Odell Beckham and he wanted D-Hop. They compromised with him on OBJ and said, well, we can only get you one, but not both. They probably told him, look, we can't give you Cliff as the head coach, but what if we give you Cliff as an OC? Which is probably why Jesse Minter got the head coaching job, because they probably was interested in a coach that was interested in bringing Cliff along because the quarterback wants him. So they saying, okay, look, here's the deal. Anthony Weaver, Jesse Minter, whoever else we're talking to, would you be willing to take Cliff Kingsbury on as an OC? Anyone who wasn't was already dismissed from the job. Anybody who was not interested in adding Cliff Kingsbury as a part of their offensive coordinator or whatever, okay, you're not going to be a finalist. It came down to Anthony Weaver and Jesse Minter. Okay, Anthony Weaver, are you open to it? Yes. Jesse, are you open to it? Yes. Okay, Jesse Weaver, you got your second interview. Jesse, here's your opportunity. Jesse came in, blew the interview away, said he's down with the Cliff Kingsbury thing. Boom, there you go. Now I want to drive some So being careful here. I want to listen. I was driving the Kubiak train. I'm disappointed, but I want to drive some optimism here for Ravens fans. Cliff Kingsbury could do for Jesse Minter what Kubiak did for Mike McDonald. Mike McDonald had a pretty good season his first year, but the offense was not really right. They won 10 games, but you could tell they weren't going to go far just because the offense wasn't right. He fired the OC after 1 year, and he hired Kubiak, and away they went, right? The OC hire is so important. If Cliff can duplicate what he did with Jayden Daniels last year on the offense side, we know the offense will be good. Lamar Jackson has been good under every OC, and he's probably going to win another MVP under Cliff. Derrick Henry's going to probably rush for 1,000 yards because that's what he does in his sleep. But let's say Cliff gets the offense up and running, smoking, and Jesse gets the defense back to what we expect. The Ravens could be in the AFC Championship game next year. Right? Like, look at the field. Is there any team currently in the playoff or in this whole entire playoff that you think the Ravens couldn't beat at full strength? No. So the optimism for Ravens fans here should be you may have your Baltimore version of what Seattle has, and Mike and Clint. We got Jesse and Cliff.
I want
that Shanahan offense. I'm disappointed, but we got to start looking at we got to start turning the page, right? Go ahead, Joe.
I want to throw something out here that's like so beautifully underlooked in terms of like Matt, as he's been saying, we've been grooming this kid, right? Like Jesse Minter and Mike McDonald have been growing up with their system for like years. Like regardless of what you want to say, like they've grown up with it. But the difference is when you look at when Jesse Minter was under the Ravens, he was under both Dean Pease, Wink Martindale, and then he was the guy who followed up Mike McDonald. He's seen every single aspect of how this defense has worked, and he decided to take it to the Chargers and do it in his own way. He's not like the problem with Zach Orr is he was so succumbed to like, this is how Dean Pease ran a defense. Like this is the defense I was used to when I played in it. Like I know how to use it. Jesse Minter looked at it and said, I like this. I like what Wink's doing. I like what this is. And we've had aspects of all these defenses that we've liked, right? But like now he's combining it. And he's like seeing things that he likes, doing things a little bit differently. And like that's why I was laughing earlier when we were talking about which one created the Mike McDonald defense. Like I don't think either one of them did. I think they both picked up parts from like the different people they've learned under. And like, but the thing is both of them do it differently from how the other guys did. Versus like all the other guys we've brought in. Like even if you wanted a Weaver, even if you wanted something like that, like they didn't do anything differently. They kept similar things the same. And he's done things differently. And like you see it in our players. Where like under a Dean P system, Owe looks rough. All of a sudden he's on a Jesse Minter system, he looks like a different person. And then like I know people are gonna like throw out the Vanderbilt rankings. Guess what? Vanderbilt didn't have talent before he left there. Like it's okay. Like I was joking around earlier. I said it's like a better improvement over what he was supposed to do, right? So like that's the whole process. But like to me is like at the same time, it's like your defense looked so undisciplined compared to what it's ever looked like in the history of the Ravens. So you probably want to fix that first. And I'm sure they had to talk to Lamar saying, well, what kind of offensive mind do you like? I'm sure Minter had to impress him with which offensive mind he had. And then like the same thing with the GMing. Like they always said that Lamar needed a plan. So if Lamar agrees onto the plan, he agrees onto who's coming onto his staff. And then on top of that, you have a guy who's Ravens born and bred, but has seen every single iteration of why this defense has failed and why this defense has succeeded. Why wouldn't you at least have the idea that like maybe they're right about it? Like he's not my first choice, but like they could very well be right about it and I could be wrong.
Hey, so everybody that's questioning the hire or asking who he is, you remember a guy we traded away at week 7 or week 8? We traded him away.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Everybody was talking trash about this particular guy. I don't remember his name, but he went over there
Some guy
And
named Jason.
he
Right?
made almost an immediate impact to the point to where all the people on at least Twitter or X, whoever you are, however you call it, everybody on that particular platform was tweeting and reposting and retweeting how many sacks this particular player had in that game. So if nothing else brings you any kind of joy in this particular hiring, you may not be a mentor guy, but just at least ask yourself that question: how is it he gets this guy and immediately he's impacting games? I just want to know, because we can't have it both ways. We can't sit here and say, hey, okay, look, all right, man, we don't know who this guy is, or we want to trash the Ravens for doing this and doing that, not being able to put these pass rushers in win-win situations. But then we get a guy that can put the pass rushers in win-win situations. We're gonna complain about it, or we're gonna have to scratch our head. I look at it like this: anybody that can put the ball in our quarterback's hands 3 or 4 more times a game, I'm good with that. Because we know what 8 is. We know what 8 is. You give 8 too many times. Look, it's gonna feel really great to see our defense show up in the playoffs. That's what I'm looking for, because we've seen it. Because as many times as we talk about, the Mahomes, the Josh Allens, the Joe Burrows, all those guys, the Jalen Hurts of the playoffs, we still haven't answered the question: when is the defense going to show up in the playoffs? Do we understand? Lamar Jackson defense does not have a defensive turnover in the playoffs. And how many times he's been there? So at the end of the day, I got it. Yeah, and I'm not sitting there saying take any of the fault or the blame from Lamar. What I am sitting there saying is I would love to be able to play complimentary football in January.
There you go, Coach. I mean, listen, the Ravens defense have shown up in moments in the playoffs, right? There's been times the offense didn't show up. But at the same time, it is good to get the defense back to where they belong, which is out of this ineptitude that they found themselves in under Zach Orr, right? We got a voice. We got answers to the test. The same thing we asked for. The same thing we asked for Lamar on the offense. We want answers to the test. This is answer to the test for the defense. So we got our guy, and now we move. I want to post this. I want to share this. Steve Bisciotti also chimed in.
Okay. I haven't seen that
on
yet.
The hire of Jesse Minter, and he said, Jesse was impressive throughout our incredibly thorough interview process. He clearly understands the values, high expectations, and history of the Ravens, and he has a great vision for the future. Jesse's football acumen is outstanding, and that's been proven by the impact he's made throughout his entire coaching career. He is also a leader who will authentically connect with our players and inspire them to championship levels. I want to thank Eric DaCosta, Sashi Brown, and our entire selection committee for the work they poured into this process. It was clear to us that Jesse is a special talent who is what it takes to lead us as head coach of the Ravens. I watched Eric work closely with John Harbaugh for years. It was evident how excited he and Sashi are to now partner with Jesse as our organization strives to chase championships with an S. Ravens owner, Stephen Bisciotti. Thoughts?
I mean, hey, look, it's like what we was talking about, man. Legacy. He has some legacy with the Ravens, man. So it's like, look, when you get there, you're not getting any kind of culture shock, or you're not in awe with the building. You already know how the building is ran. You know the relationships around the building. So for me, looking back at his past and what he's came through and how he was raised, I felt like, hey, this is a no-brainer. Either him or Weaver. Especially with what transpired with all the other coaches. Mm-hmm. So for me, I'm loving it. again, it wasn't my first particular guy, but he was in my top round of coaches. But it is what it is, and I'm here. I'm gonna support him as long as I can support him. And any man that could take a, afterthought of Oweh and put him in Defensive Player of the Year candidacy, I'm with it. I'm with it. So,
Yeah.
Okay. So we are the draft nerds here, and how does this impact the first round for the Ravens?
The interesting thing to look at what the Chargers are doing, right? Like, I think this impacts, like, because I think you don't trade for an edge rusher if you're the Chargers if you think you had an edge rusher, and then they believed Elway's that guy. You have to wonder what Jesse Minter's going to do for a guy like Mike Green more than anybody. Like, you look at Mike Green individually, who has more talent than Oweh, in my opinion, and it's like, when he looks at a guy like that, what's going to be there? Tavius Robinson, even, like, what's that guy going to be like there? Like, I think, I think when you hire Jesse Minter, you see a lot of the defensive players improve to the extent of, like, depending on the OC, you have more of a feeling that you don't have to go defense because you feel like you're bringing back at least partially what Mike McDonald was. Not saying Mike McDonald, he's going to have the same scheme. I'm sure he changes some stuff up. You hear his players hype up that scheme all the time. A lot of those players improve off of what they've had. They've worked with Derwin James, who is as close to Kyle Hamilton as you can get. They have a lot of, like, similar players, right? So, like, the whole idea is, regardless of what you do with this situation, the biggest thing beyond all rationale is, like, you're looking at it and, like, this doesn't pigeonhole you to have to take a defender, because all of a sudden you're like, well, guess what? I'm Jesse Minter, and I think our defense is better than it is, and I just don't think you guys were using it right. And there's some extent to use the previous year to that to believe, but it's also at the same time, if one of those blue chips fall, hey, this changes this defense from I think it's better than it is to I'm going to make it really elite instantly, and you're going to have to deal with it, you know? But, like, I don't think this necessarily knocks him out of an offensive guy, because I think he's going to have the faith going in that, like, yeah, I'm going to coach him up, and guess what? They're better than they are right now than you think.
Hey, man. It just showed you how much talent the Ravens had on that staff. But what's your thoughts, Coach? How do you think this impacts the draft?
Oh man, it's very interesting. Here's the reason why I say it's interesting, right? If we basing it off impact in vocal or being outspoken, I could see them saying, hey, okay, we want to think about the idea. If it's a generational type of guy or a guy that's going to come in and immediately give us an advantage, like for instance, a Ruben Bain falls to us. Yeah, of course, you'd be crazy not to take that, right? But I do also think that they say, hey, look, based off what we have already in the room, these guys could be everything we're already asking or we already need, right, in the scheme wise. And if there's an offensive talent, again, that we say, hey, look, all right, man, we need a third guy in that wide receiver room to take this offense to the next level, right? Because we know if it is indeed Cliff, we want to go 4 wide receivers, right? And if we're gonna go 4 wide receivers, then hey, guess what? We need who's that fourth guy? Who's gonna be that fourth guy? You got me. So I'm interested in seeing who the OC is going to be. I don't think it changes too much because you look at a Kyle Hamilton, you look at a Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith is already vocal with his communication and what to do. Right. It's just a matter about hey, now a person of interest for me is going to be Kyle Hamilton. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I say Kyle Hamilton because I'm linking him to the role Derwin James had on it in his particular scheme. Mm-hmm. So right then and there, I'm looking for him to turn a corner. Not saying he couldn't turn it on his own, but I'm looking at him to say, hey, look, make this right. Be able to tell everybody where they need to be on the back end. And then, oh, yeah, by the way, we need some swag. We need some oomph. Like, they not going to get it. Because to be honest with you, he had them feeling like, hey, bro, look, you can't score no points on us. if you look at their squad as a whole, right? Yeah, some of those guys probably in the top 10 and some of the metrics and whatnot, but they weren't a bunch of all pros running around.
I wanted to throw one more thing out there too, because like I think this is like I know there's probably a bunch of Ravens fans out there crashing out right now, and I get it. We want an offensive guy for the most part, but this doesn't take away from a guy who has called plays in his life, and that's something I want to throw out there too. Is like he's held a clipboard in his hand. If that defense starts doing like outside of what it's done with Mike McDonald recently, Dean Pease on. Like Dean Pease, since we lost Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, honestly, if they start doing those crazy collapses like we've seen for year in, year out, year in, year out, year in, year out, he's going to be the one to rip the playbook out of his D coordinator's hands and say, "What the hell are y'all doing? I'm going to take this over, and I'm going to do something about it." And that's something that separates him from Harbaugh, right? Like Harbaugh, like couldn't take over any side of the plays. If you're gonna at least like, as long as you're taking over one side of the plays, that's an improvement over something, man.
This is Travis Kelce on Jesse Minter.
Yeah,
and to be honest, that dude, I mean, he has got shit figured out.
Yeah, he's killing it.
I mean, I was talking to Pat, and there was one time in the game where it was a big third down, I think, and he put together a blitz that we had not seen before on tape, and got us pretty good there. But yeah, shout out to Jesse. He's absolutely killing it. Coach Minter, couldn't be more proud to say that I was once your scout team quarterback, and and to be honest, that dude, I mean, he has got shit.
University of Cincinnati.
I mean, I was talking
to
Pat, and there was one time
in
the game where it was a big third down, I think, and
he's got shit
put
figured
together
out.
A blitz that we
like
had
that.
not seen before on tape, and got us pretty good there. But yeah, shout out to Jeff.
Love that. The new man in charge, Jesse Minter. I think Ravens fans who didn't want it, like myself, like who wanted who wanted Clint. I keep getting them mixed up. Who wanted Clint Kubiak? I think we'll come around. You know, I've already come around. I already made up in my mind that if it's not Clint, I need to be okay with it, and I'm okay with it. This is a Baltimore guy. This is a Raven guy. He was the defensive coordinator of the national championship Michigan Wolverines. If you go back and watch that game, they freaking dominated. That defense, oh my God, they made life miserable for Michael Penix in Washington.
What?
They dominated, they dominated that entire playoffs against Alabama and Jalen Milroe. I just go back and watch certain games during that time. He had that defense humming.
Well, and see, like, this is my aspect of like why he doesn't bring in a Harbaugh roster too. It's like he came in and he's seen every iteration of like the modern day Ravens defense. Pease, Martindale, McDonald, even because McDonald was after him in like Michigan, or like before him, sorry. But it's like when you realize all of that, it's like at some extent he's taken a little bit from each of them, but done his own thing with it. Like it's his own thing. This is different from just the Ravens in itself. It's like he took like, because everything of Zach Orr is like Zach Orr started listening to Dean Pease and like taking everything he said into it with a grain of, with like everything he believed. Versus Jesse Minter looked at it and said, you know what, like let's adjust this. I like this, but let's adjust this. This is where it's failed here. And like you don't see those same problems with those same defenses that were ran with the Chargers. And it's like he's seen every single iteration of the modern version of this defense. So like he has his own ideas on how it's going to work, how it's not going to. You hear his players talk him up. Now you're hearing his rivals talk him up. It's like, even though it's not the side of the ball that I would have wanted the plays to be called for, at least you have a play caller. We might be not the guy. We were all Clint Kubiak guys for the most part. But it's like, if he's first, then it's not like there was any point where any of us said Jesse Minter was last, by the way. Like, I want that being said out there, you know?
That's a fact. So is Oway coming back in free agency?
That's a curious question. That's a curious question.
That would be hilarious.
He's gonna come back. He's gonna be like, guys, this defensive system is completely different.
He's gonna be like, is Harbaugh gone? Is Zach gone? Cool, I'm here.
You mean I don't have to take the wheel route?
My man said, my man gonna be like, I'm back. I'm back. Real talk though, I want Tierra Tart though off that defensive line.
Oh, I would yeah.
He's an unrestricted free agent. He's 26 years old. I need him. Bring him with you, Jesse. Bring him with you, Jesse.
You know, I'm looking up.
Come on, Jesse. Leave them hoes alone, Jesse.
I'm looking up the Chargers free agents right now, actually.
Yeah, and Tart is number one on my list.
We
gotta get Lamar locked up, and we gotta get Linderbaum locked up.
Hey, we got some pass rushers on there too. Some DNs.
I mean,
hey, is it time to circle back on Ojulari?
Are we coming back to Zion Johnson?
Listen, all I'm thinking is all the pass rushes that failed before. Now they might actually have been good this whole time, but we just was sucked at coaching them. You know, So I'm interested to see what his staff looks like the full staff. I know we've been spending time talking about Cliff Kingsbury possibly being his OC. I think Ian Rappaport tweeted recently that Davis Webb could be his OC. Which I'm not sure about that. I think
Joe Brady got mentioned as well.
I mean, not Davis Webb. I meant Joe Brady. Yeah, Joe Brady could be the OC. I'm gonna be real with you.
That would be crazy.
I think who would you prefer? Joe Brady or Cliff?
See, what I don't like about Brady, right? This is like him at LSU. You got to see the maximum effort of his offense because the ball spread around.
You had a bunch of dogs on that offense,
right? And you see the ball hit multiple players' hands, and the run game wasn't a thing of the past, right? So with Buffalo, did we really see that with the receiving part of it? Not the run game. The run game eventually made its way back into it. But, matter of fact, even with the run game, there was a time, but was it 2023 when we were talking about, why did they not use James Cook is more than they've been using him? And then he had that breakout. He had the breakout season. So I felt like, hey, as long as we are spreading the ball around, I wouldn't be against it when it comes down to it, because again, it is in a situation to put guys in situations to win. You got some times that you will take your shots, but then you also it's not. It is tight end friendly as well. Mm-hmm. So and then I just feel like with Lamar, I think Lamar is not fixated on just one or two guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, again, you have to be a little bit intrigued by if Joe Brady falls into our lap. I don't know, man.
See, my thing is it kind of depends on what your expectations are, right? Because I think I agree with your receivers point. I also don't think they gave them the right amount of receivers to actually fully see what the skill set could be. I don't think they really did a lot in terms of putting resources towards receivers where something could have been different with that situation. But the other aspect of what I'd like to throw out there is we were talking about a little bit earlier that Cliff Kingsbury's offense becomes very stagnant. So it's what are you betting on? Because if you're betting on that you're losing Cliff Kingsbury in 1 year, that 1 year could be a higher ceiling than anything else you're facing with any other.
You could be hoisting the Lombardi in that 1 year.
But the thing is, if you're thinking of it as a 3-year plan, then yeah, you're probably going to get stopped at some point. But it's
all right. So these are potential OC hires for Justin Minter. These are the people the Ravens have also interviewed for potential OC jobs: Joe Brady, Cliff Kingsbury, Matt Nagy. Who would you want?
Not Matt Nagy. Give me either one. Don't give me Matt Nagy. Don't let me touch that.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go on a limb and say they get Cliff Kingsbury as OC and Anthony Weaver is the DC. Here's the reason why. Anthony Weaver was one of the finalists. He did an interview yesterday.
I agree.
I'm sure they spoke to him about being the defensive coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens. Helping out Jesse. 2 Raven guys, right? 2 former Ravens, right? Coming back together to run the team. It was first announced that he would go with John, but now John has kind of pivoted to Jim Leonard and some other people which tells me that John probably has an indication that Weaver's probably going to choose the Raven. I think Weaver's a Raven through and through. He's not a John Harbaugh guy. He's a Raven, right? Mm-hmm. Weaver was drafted by Brian Billick in Ozzie Newsome when he came to the Ravens. It wasn't John Harbaugh. So I think he has more loyalty to the Ravens than he does John Harbaugh. So I'm thinking, I'm saying it here now on the pod. Your offensive defensive head coach is going to be Jesse Minter, Cliff Kingsbury, and Anthony Weaver. If that is the case, Coach, how'd you feel about that?
Absolutely love it. Here's the reason why, right? We all know, like, in this season, the offensive struggled in certain situations and whatnot, but our defense just never looked like themselves. Even, matter of fact, I would say the whole time Lamar's been there. Like we had 2023, but even then in 2023, there were lapses in some of those games, right? So to get a formidable defense back, I just feel like, hey, that talks Raven through and through, right? Especially one that's going to show up when you gotta have it type of moments. To get that, I just don't think we don't understand what that can propel us into. Because if you look at the last 4 teams that's remaining, right, which one of them have a weak defense? Everybody play defense. Everybody play defense, right? So we see what it could be, right? And I just feel like, hey, again, having guys that can get those guys out there and get the best out of them, I believe wholeheartedly, especially bringing a Weaver in, because I think Weaver will probably take the D-line and he'll take everybody else. And I just feel like having both of them being able to say, look, you take your part, I take my part. I just think it simplifies everything and nobody has too much on their plate. And I just think it could be a beautiful thing. That's me being very optimistic. And I just hope, again, what I'm talking about could come into fruition. So
I think like my biggest thing, and like first off,
real quick, I don't mean to cut you off. So former Raven Tavon Young, secondary player, said, crazy to see people elevate to the next level. Congrats, Coach Jesse. Baltimore got a good one. Believe that. So, hey, players are signing off on it. When players sign off on it, that's always a good sign. Raven C says Mike Green about to flourish.
Yep.
Killer Cam says, I want neither Kingsbury or Brady. Denard Wilson is available again. So apparently Tennessee announced that he is not coming back. So what if you can get Weaver as DC and Denard Wilson as your secondary coach again?
I mean, and see, like, that's
with Jesse Minter?
Well, yeah, I think that's the thing that like goes back to Minter, right? Like that's like one.
I think Weaver would most likely be DC.
Yeah,
I think he most likely be DC. I think they love him so much to the point where we're the only ones that gave him a real head coach interview. We gave him 2 interviews, right? So I think he would probably be the.
Well, I think the reason you have the second interview is towards that DC, but like the biggest thing,
right?
But the biggest thing to me is like, this is like you also telling him like, hey, if things go rough, you're not the scapegoat because guess what? We have a defensive coach. And I think that's such a huge aspect of it too. Is like, hey, Anthony Weaver, when things go awry like they did with the Dolphins, they're not going to look at you when you have Storm Duck as your corner 1. First off, we're going to have way better corners than that. But it's like, that's what happened to Anthony Weaver. Anthony Weaver got scapegoated as a defensive coordinator when nothing was his fault. He just had a really bad roster on paper. And it's like versus this where Jesse Minter's like, hey, I take most of the fall blame, but if things look nice, you're the next guy they're going to look past me. Like, you're the guy who's being in my tutelage right now. Like, if this all works out, then you're next, right? Like, nobody's going to look at my offensive guy. They're not going to look at, like, these other people around me. And at the same time, you had to have some extent of it because, like, they told him straight up, like, they've said this in, like, all the interview processes from what we've heard. You have to have some plan for Lamar Jackson. And you have to have some plan for, like, what's going to reinvigorate him, what's going to get him excited. And it seems to me like when you bring in Cliff Kingsbury, when you bring in these people who are related to him, that he clearly signed off on it. The offensive coordinators clearly signed off on it. You actually get an opportunity where you bring in more former Ravens because he's worked with the staff before, right? Like he's not against bringing in guys who have been here before because he's met a good portion of them in his life, but it doesn't mean he's bringing in Harbaugh guys either. It means he's bringing in Ravens guys. There's a difference between the two. And it's like you can bring in aspects of some of those guys while also bringing new ideas. Because I don't think he's bringing Dean Pease's defense. I don't think he's bringing in Mike McDonald's defense even. I don't think he's bringing in all of these defenses.
He's bringing in Jesse Minter's defense.
He's bringing in Jesse Minter's defense.
This is just as speaking of Jesse Minter, this is Derwin James on Jesse Minter as a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Minter would make a good head coach.
Yeah. He can make whatever you want to be. Yeah.
Why is that?
Because he's that guy, he's that leader, alpha. Man, he's not looking on. He's alpha, man. The guys play hard for him, man. And I just feel like he's just that dude, man. Every day, you know what you're gonna get with him. He's consistent. Man.
Are you worried that
I ain't worried about that right now, man. We locked in right now. We're gonna keep going. Hopefully, man, he ain't going nowhere.
Not even a half a second of hesitation.
None. He said he's that dude. I mean, and that's your alpha on defense.
Mm-hmm.
That's your alpha on defense saying, nah, man, that real alpha is Jesse Minter.
Mm-hmm.
This is a day Ravens fans should be happy. I know it's not our top choice for many of us, right? But I think we should be happy about this.
I would also argue with Ravens fans too. It's like John Harbaugh would have never been our first choice, and guess what? We get a Super Bowl out of it. Sometimes it's not about our first choice. Sometimes they know what they're doing.
Yeah. And apparently Kubiak wasn't the Ravens' first choice. See, the thing is, we're talking about the Ravens' first choice versus the fans' first choice.
Exactly.
That's two different things. Kubiak was never the Ravens' first choice. We clearly see that now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes the fans and the organization disagree. But the problem is the fans have access to things. I mean, the team has access to things that the fans do not. So this is a clip from Bobby Trossett. Shout out to Bobby Baltimore. A clip from his podcast. I don't know if this is the one he does with Sarah or his own individual one, but he had Jimmy Smith on and Jimmy talking about Jesse Minter.
I mean, Jesse's a great coach. He's very, let's say, very Michael McDonald-ish in the sense that they both came in the system. Those are the guys that, before games, you're like, hey, give me a couple extra nuggets because those guys study the game so well and they know and they prepare very well. So I feel like with Jesse, I'm not going to call him Mike McDonald, obviously, but that's kind of the mold I would see him in. Like, he's a defensive-minded guy. He was our DB coach and has respect of the players and communicate with us. When he used to run the meetings, when he used to do his time doing the meetings back then, it was like he did a great job. So not a person that's like scared to speak up and all that. So I've been watching his career since he left us and watching him at Vanderbilt, and he's been doing a good job. But that you just never know. Like I said, it's hard to know what the Ravens are because like I said, the guy Davis Webb, I'd never thought, who was that? Who was that guy? And then it's like, oh, okay. They obviously, have a different thought process than we do as fans, and they are looking at different stuff. But it seems like,
did I just say that?
By the list that we're going offensive minded, it just feels like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jimmy was wrong about the last part, but he was right about the other part of the Ravens are different than we as fans think, right? We think, one way, and then the Ravens think another way, right? But they have the information. They have the inside information that we do not have. And I think that's important context to have. It's just that, you might want something, but like, that's cool, right? But you're not privileged to be in those interviews. You're not privileged to know the conversation of what's going on. I do know that we just heard Derwin James and Jimmy Smith talk glowingly about the leadership and about that dog mentality that Minter has. And the one thing I kept hearing from close sources is that Kubiak was too soft-spoken and too shy and that's not what they were looking for, clearly. And it's okay. We didn't get Coobs. I wish Coobs the best. I think he ends up in Las Vegas with Fernando Mendoza and Brady, and I think that's a fantastic fit. I think he'll be unbelievable for Ashton Genty fantasy. And I think that he would do crazy. No, he's really good with tight ends. Brock Bowers. He's really good with the outside zone run game. Anybody can get 1,000 yards. Ashton Genty. He's really good with quarterbacks. They don't have to be superstars to progress in his offense. Fernando Mendoza, and actually, I think Mendoza's ceiling is pretty high. So I expect him to end up in Las Vegas, and I hope Vegas gets him. Raiders fans, Raider Nation, I hope you get Clint. That's my guy. Take care of him. Hope you get him, and see you in the AFC Championship game maybe one day. So let's turn our pivots to we were already planning to do a mock draft today. So now we are armed. You know what? Let's do a Ravens mock draft. Instead of doing a whole league, how about we do a Ravens 7-round mock draft? How about we do that? Mm-hmm. You guys down with that? In honor of Jesse Minter, we'll do the Ravens mock draft. And we can rotate each round.
Yep. And we're not gonna do the mock draft that y'all be doing too. I see you.
No.
Draft
Nerds is original, baby. We're original. We do not do the status quo, okay? We don't do status quo over here, okay? We do inside information, boots on the ground. We watching the back pedals over this motherfucker. Jordan, what you gonna be doing next week?
What am I gonna be doing? I'll be boots to the ground, talking to people that are gonna be playing on Jesse.
He gonna be watching. No. Forget what he's saying. He gonna be watching Ruben Bain with his fingers in the dirt, seeing the whiteness on his knuckles when the ball snaps and he fires off. That's what Jordan gonna be doing. My man Jay, who isn't here, he'll be doing the same thing. Hopefully, I'll be there. I'll be doing the same thing. And if I'm not there, they are my eyes and they are my ears, and they will be wearing lanyards to say Draft Nerds on me. Because this is what we do. And we will be at the Combine. We'll be at the East-West Shrine game next year. We will be there. We will be your eyes and ears. So if you have not subscribed, subscribe now. This little QR code up here, that is for you to donate to the channel so that we can do this on a regular basis. If you want more of us and this content, then go here and donate. You can leave whatever you want because we haven't gotten to YouTube yet to the point where we can get super chat and all that. But until we do, this is a way to keep the channel going. So please do so. We would appreciate it. Let's jump into this, man.
If Ruben Bain's even there, Matt, I'm running up to the podium on top of the crowd and I'm turning in the card. Me individually.
Listen, I'm going to the car. I'm going to the draft. I'm going in Pittsburgh this year because it's right up the road from Maryland, and I'm gonna get up there. I'm gonna just say this shit. Ruben Bain. They gonna be like, arrest him. I'm gonna be like, motherfucker, y'all know what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? They gonna take me out in the handcuffs. They were like, was that Matt? Yes, it was. And then I'm gonna be on Spaces later that night, like, yo, I just made bail. That's crazy, ain't it? Well, did they take Ruben Bain or no?
You'll see our cover photos on Twitter. Will be Draft Nerds mugshots.
I will say this though, and our Ravens fans will be happy to know this. We won't be picking special teams players early in the draft.
Yeah,
that's a good thing. So, Ravens flock, be happy to know that when you're thinking about taking a good wide receiver, you're not sitting there saying, "Well, can he play special teams well?" Them streets be talking. Hey, I tried to prepare y'all this morning. I'm a Kubiak guy, man. I tried to talk them. Listen, this morning I tried to put everybody in the right headspace that it might be Jesse Minter, and they didn't want to listen to me. I had Quan coming up talking about, why am I switching up? I'm switching up because I got information, motherfucker, and I ain't even switching. I'm just telling you what I know. You can believe it if you want, but it is what it is. So, oh shit, we got to start over. The damn drafting started.
I thought you meant the whole podcast for a second. I'm like, yo, what?
Got when you hit it, when you click, when you go into it, it automatically just starts.
Yeah. They just do the super fast forward, and you have like half a minute to make a pick for some reason.
Yeah, it's crazy work. Like they just start.
All of a sudden, you're
hold on, bro, I wasn't ready yet. It's like, but who did I get in the first 3 rounds? All right, because I'm the draft nerd, I'm gonna go first. You guys okay with that? I'm gonna go first.
Yeah. Let him cook his first round.
You guys all right with that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, even if you weren't right, with it, I'm gonna go first.
You're like, it's my screen.
I'm gonna go first anyway. No, it's ours. Okay, I don't do the my shit. It's us. We. That shit would never happen. Kendrick Fault would never go number 2.
Wait, so you're telling me you don't just get to go straight?
But it's okay. It's still. It's not about where they go. No, I don't. All right, so I think all of these players will go before the Ravens. I don't think they'll go in this order. Obviously, Mendoza will go 1. I could see Arvell Reese go here. I could see Ruben Bain probably go here somewhere, or Fano can go here. I could see Ruben Bain going to the Titans. They definitely need a pass rusher. Jordan Tyson will go in there. Jeremiah Love will go somewhere near. David Bailey, Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles. Maybe Styles goes a little later than this. Malinois, Mansour Delaney. So, whatever. We're just going to take the board as it comes. So, I have the first pick for the Ravens in this wonderful, beautiful, lovely mock draft. And let's deliberate real quick. What do you guys think I should do?
I have a strong feeling I know where you're going to go because there's a guy right up the top.
Lockdown, Raven said. Peter! Hey, man. I got to give the people what they want. I gotta give the people what they want. Let's go Peter Woods with that. Well, let's talk about it real quick. Let's break down the X's and O's on this. How would Peter Woods look in a now we know Jesse Minter defense? I mean, if he did what he did with Owe or Tierra Tart, what would he do with Travis Jones and Peter Woods? Let's talk about that.
See what I love about Travis Jones is that he's a tweener. That you can kind of play him in both directions depending on which one you want him to focus on.
Travis Jones or Peter Woods?
I'm talking about Travis Jones. So, like, if you take Travis Jones, you could kind of take him as, like, a static, like, he can hold a gap guy versus let somebody like Peter Woods just be a rummager going through, like, power plays through, like, contact and just kind of runs his own show. And you could also let it be the other way where Travis Jones is kind of doing that. But that being said, is like Peter Woods is way higher upside on one of those sides of the two, and I do that. Now, if you were telling me we were bringing in Clint, I would be a Mekhi Lemon guy with this exact pick. But since we're not bringing in Clint, like Peter Wood's going to eat in a Minter system, and then this only opens up what I think Mike McDonald's – I mean, not Mike McDonald, obviously, but what Jesse Minter is going to look at with this defense, where he sees a bunch of edge rushers that he knows are way better than they actually are, and then this is the guy that unlocks them right here.
Yeah. Coach, what's your thoughts? Peter Woods right here.
Oh, man, love it. Here's the reason why. Both guys can pass rush. It's cut, simple, point to the point. And then if we know both guys can pass rush, right, that occupies 3 versus 2 no matter who we play. So with that being said, is that, hey, look, you're freeing up Mike Green and whoever else the pass rusher is on the outside to do whatever they want, right? And I just felt like, hey, look, you win your one-on-one matchups, we talking double-digit sacks for both pass rushers if we take this guy.
Okay, do we consider trading back here? Is this something you think they would consider? Maybe going with the wide receiver Mekhi Lemon?
See, I think it depends on what you want out of a D tackle. To me, it's like you'd want more of an explosive pass rush set, and I don't think you're going to get better than that than Peter Woods.
Yeah. There is a significant drop off after Peter Woods when you talk about pass rush. Now, there's a lot of run stoppers in this draft.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you talk about pass rush, there isn't many, and so you get and then here's a crazy part: Peter Woods is like an excellent run stopper. Like he's really good against the run. That's probably the thing he does the best. But his ceiling as a pass rusher,
upside.
His upside is high because he has all the skills to be a great pass rusher. But he's already a good run defender. So sound the alarms. We are taking Peter Woods at 14. All right. Coach, I'm going to give you the next pick.
Let Coach cook, man.
Let him cook. Sup. Let him cook. Then let him cook.
The slow motion of it all.
All right, so I just been told by my source,
Mm-hmm.
Ravens fans, Cliff Kingsbury will be the next OC.
Yeah, I think we all expected that one.
Yep. Okay, 45, Coach. You on the board?
Ooh.
You have Jacoby Lane went to Seattle. That's interesting. Kamari Ramsey to the Jets. Over 10. Okay, so you got AJ Halsey, Anthony Hill Jr., Elijah Surratt.
Bring on, gonna make me cry, man.
You got Mason Thomas. Who gonna make you
Whoa,
cry?
there's a guy right there. There's a
Cassius
guy.
Howell, Chris Brazzell, Keem Messador. Where does Coach want to go?
Yeah.
With the second pick, you got Peter Woods in the bag. You got that interior dominator. Are we going to continue to give Jesse more tools, or do we go and give Lamar and Cliff Kingsbury some help? I'm gonna just say Cliff Kingsbury because I'm assuming that's going to be the guy. Coach, you on mute. You're talking on mute.
So if it's Cliff Kingsbury, let me do my real simple thing right here. Bateman, Zay, and Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, bro, look, let me get Surratt, man. Let me get Surratt. If Kingsbury is our guy, let me get Surratt. I think I got it. We wanted the other defensive player here, but in free agency, there's some guys we can pick up as well. And then I just felt like with the Peter Wood pickup, we don't really have to have a super dominant defensive end. I just feel like, hey, this guy still being on the board could take the offense to another level along with the defense.
All right, Jordan, your thoughts? Elijah Surratt to the Ravens in the second round.
I mean, it's not where I necessarily would have gone, but I like Elijah Surratt a lot, right? Like, if you're thinking, like I was just saying, like,
he presents size for that room that you were looking for.
Yeah, exactly. You present size, but also you present like a big catchability, something like the receiver room doesn't have. And then,
he's
like,
also well coached.
If you truly believe in that defense the way that you do, because like you probably assume that it's better than it is, then what you would do there is you'd sit there and you'd be like, well, I think it's better than it is. So I think there's more talent there than you want to accept. I'm going to go offensively. Let's go off of wide receiver with this one.
All right. Well,
okay,
Jordan, you are now up. What do you do with the third pick?
I mean, this will happen in a million years, but if Getty Dunker's right there, I'm not even thinking twice. It's going to take me half a second. Go ahead and walk that one in. If we're in the third round, like there's not a thought.
All right, Jennings Dunker. It's now my turn. And Coach, what do you think about Jennings Dunker there in the third round?
Oh my gosh, home run steal. Golly, home run steal.
I didn't even gonna make a fun pick, man, because they're just there.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, talk about solidifying the whole line. My goodness.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he goes right next to Linderbaum, Iowa.
I'm sure you feel
Iowa next
about
to Iowa.
that one, Matt.
I feel fantastic about it. I mean, I couldn't made a better pick myself. All right, so I'm gonna go back and give Coach Mentor some help on the defensive side of the ball. And
I knew you were looking for him already.
I'm thinking about him, but I think I'm gonna give him some help on the defensive side. I think I'm gonna go and get him. My guy's gone. I guess he's gone. Never mind. I thought I saw him.
You're looking for one of the slots, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I was looking for one of the slots, but he's gone. They're both gone, I think. But I thought I saw him though. I thought maybe I saw him during your pick. Maybe that's what it was. Let me just see. Hold on. Okay. So I'm definitely going defense here with this pick, no matter what.
Oh, there he is.
There
They
he
have
is.
safety
There he
now.
is.
They have him at
They
safety.
have him listed as safety. How
That's
did you
nice.
know who I was looking for?
Because
You
I
know,
told you it was
stay out
one
of my
the slot
head.
corners. I told you it was one of the slot guys. I know.
All
you.
right. Baltimore Ravens is going Keontae Scott with pick 115. What do we think, Coach, on that one?
I love it because we had a whole space talking about Marlon Humphrey and his troubles. And I felt like, hey, this would be the perfect guy to groom him and get him ready to where now it's like, hey, look, if we do have to get rid of Marlon, this is the guy I would want to jump in and take that spot. I'm very familiar with this guy's game because he started out at Auburn and he ended up going to Miami. So yes, I'm with that.
Hey, and Keontae, like Jesse Minter is the secondary guy, right? He knows the things or two about the secondary. I think he can figure out how to use Keontae Scott. So I'm excited about that. Next pick is on you, Coach. Do the right thing, Coach. He right there, Coach.
I already know.
You right there, Coach. Do the right thing.
I've been too much in depth in that.
Coach, do the right thing, Coach. Don't you break my heart, Coach. You going defense or offense, Coach? Talk to us. Don't let me sway you, but Coach, do the right thing.
I already know.
Hey, put all up there. It don't really matter. I'm going defense, though. I think I'm pretty sure I'm going defense. Yeah, I just want to see all just to make sure it ain't
Look, you
crazy.
want to see all, huh?
Oh no,
Shout out to my
we
man
good.
Trust. You want to see all, huh?
Hey, we going with my.
He's top 5 in the all.
We going with my guy, man, Jacob Rodriguez. Look, him still being there. Look,
let's go.
Look, I'm gonna be real. We're crushing this mock draft. There's no way in 100 years this happens, but like, I'd love to believe it. I love to believe it
as well. Hey man, we're just taking what the board gives us, you know. All right, I think it's your turn, Jordan.
Yeah, go ahead and show me the defense for a second. A lot of those guys are offensive guys, not necessarily the direction I'd want to go. We added Surratt. So if I could see the defense, that's what I'd like to look at right now.
You want to see defense?
Yeah. I'm more into the idea. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Sorry. You don't need to scroll any farther. I saw somebody. Hi there, Romello. Hi, how you doing? Welcome to Baltimore.
Hey, him and Jacob Rodriguez are singing "Reunited as One,"
and it feels so good. Reunited, and it's this. Listen, they can sleep on these Texas Tech players. We'll gladly
we'll just keep taking them. We'll just keep snatching them. Yo, this is the most fun mock draft.
You guys don't want them, that's fine. All right. So we'll go to all. And okay, so we got ourselves a guard. We got ourselves a guard. 1 second. Okay, we got ourselves a guard. We got ourselves an edge rusher. We got a corner. We got a wide receiver. Moton's going back to school. How do we feel about? Is it time to go back to defense? What do we think? Maybe let's go look at our picks for a second, so we can see them all together. We got Woods, Surratt. We got Woods, Surratt, Dunker, Scott, Rodriguez, Hype. Think we could use another interior defensive lineman. I think we need bodies in there, right? What do you think? What do you guys think?
For the interior, what? O-line or D-line?
D-line.
Yeah.
Do we feel like we need more bodies inside, or?
Eventually you're going to have to. I think that's like the one position you take 2 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which one I would want out of that, you know?
Yeah.
Man, Markel Bell was kind of crazy. That wouldn't be my first choice. I don't know about it, but like that being that low was kind of crazy.
I wonder.
Now we hit the interesting part of the draft. My God, by the way, look at our first 6 draft picks.
I know, look at that. I mean, we're cooking. I like where are we at? What pick are we at right now? 172. This might be too early for him, but I really like this kid. They could be an H-back, fullback, tight end type player. It's too early for him. I like some of these receivers that's still there. But we do have Surratt.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said.
Yeah. My running back's still there. Let's see what quarterbacks can we get somebody. Anybody we can develop. Okay, I think I'm
we just cooked too hard.
Dang, hold on.
We cooked so hard.
There's a guy I wanted at tackle that.
Consider right now.
No. There's some guys still here.
I know, but in terms of like, I would typically be like, "Oh, let's move for this," and then I'm like, "Well, this guy's already kind of in the way of that."
Yeah, we could use some more edge help. Let's go Derek Moore. Here. How about that? That sounds good. I like Derek Moore. Michigan. He also played there when Jesse Minter was there. So you got to add definitely have to add a pick for familiarity, right? Or nepotism, whatever you want to call it. But Derek Moore is a good player. What do you think, Coach?
Yeah, I'm with it. Especially because, again, remember I just said a few minutes ago, we don't need guys to get 20 sacks a game with this scheme, especially what we got already in the draft. So it wouldn't hurt to start getting a rotation together. So.
Coach, in this round, the Ravens pick back-to-back, so we're already on the clock. We pick 172 and 170.
Okay, give me an all right quick.
Gotcha.
Jesus. All right, I just think. All right, scroll up for me a little bit. Do I want to do that this early? That's hella early. You know what?
Man, him being back pisses me off.
Yeah, absolutely, because that would be the pick. But you know what?
Easy.
Go to offense and go to tight ends. Tight ends for me.
I was just looking at them too.
Because I think
tight end, we might lose one of likely Okola.
Yeah,
could be both.
Yeah, and I think this is where it's going to get interesting for me, and I think I'm gonna take the guy from Wyoming. I liked his little ordeal blocking, and I'm gonna take John Michael Gillenborg from Wyoming.
All right. For those who are out there saying, who the hell is John Michael Gillenborg? 6'5", 251 pound, tight end. Mute up, Coach.
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
No, you good. So John Michael Gillenborg joined the Wyoming Cowboys as a 3-star recruit in 2021 and redshirted his first season with the team after taking time to build up his frame in 2022. Gillenborg's production peaked across 23 and 24, where he combined for 53 catches, 785 yards, and 6 touchdowns across that 2-year stretch. His production dipped in 25, but Gillenborg still has the physical gifts to earn the allure of NFL teams. At 6'5" and 251 pounds, Gillenborg is tall and lean with elite explosive athleticism. He can get upfield in a blink as a seam threat or working off motion, and he has the long speed. Gotta scroll down. He has the longs. What did I lost it? It's up here. He has a long speed to stretch creases and get behind the second level. Additionally, with his tall frame, He's shown he can properly box out defenders, play positioning, and secure tough catches. Outside of his value as a seam and vertical threat, Gillenboy's game has its question marks. While he's tall and well built, his arms are short. This reduces his catch radius and doesn't play well with his inconsistent leverage and pad level as a blocker. On early downs, Gillenboy's utility remains limited, but if he can stay healthy, he has the explosive athleticism, ankle mobility, receiving chops, and play pace worth banking on in the later rounds. So we have a pick here, and it is John Michael Gillenboy. All right, Jordan, what's your thoughts?
I mean, I like it. At some point, you have to take a tight end, right? Like, there's no way you get all three back. I know we have the wishful thinking that you will. It just won't happen. You have to take one at some point. The league's always been, we've always been good at developing tight ends because we take them earlier than most teams would. We take like a few guys at a time, and we see which one's going to be developed. It's a nice little pick. You find them from the middle of nowhere, which is typically where most tight ends come from. They don't come from big schools. They come from the middle of nowhere. And that's why you grab them from Wyoming as opposed to you grab them from any of these big old schools. They show up like Superman.
We got three tight ends on our roster, and we got three tight ends. One was from East Carolina, the other one was from Iowa State, and the other one was from Oklahoma.
Bowling Green.
And none of them was first round picks. We also have a fullback from Maine.
God. D tackle from Maine, to be fair. All right, let's go to all for a second. I mean, the tight ends are nice, but let me see who's all on the board.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. If this was the all, I'd probably crash out and be scared and trade out all my picks immediately. But I kind of like DJ Rogers a little bit. But if I was in this situation,
all right, here we go. There we go. There's your all.
I mean, there's a nice developmental quarterback there. I'm not gonna go down that rope though. Go ahead. You know, if you want me to, oh God, there was one I just saw that really threw me off on it. You know what? I'm going to be a risk taker. I'm not typically the guy who goes for the two set, but go to offense. Let hit that wide receiver for me. There were some running backs I like. There's a quarterback I really like, but then I saw a piece that I really like, and that is Malachi Fields out of Notre Dame. That is a freak that you were just kind of trying to figure out what he is. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody tried to like move his position based off of his pure size alone. I think he's just an offensive weapon that's a big target that you could put in big target situations. And if Surratt, for whatever reason, has any injury concerns or any problem, like, hey, go shoot it. Go shoot the shot for it. There were a lot of guys I like there, too, to be fair. But I just think, like,
we get two big body receivers.
Yeah.
Two big body receivers for the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
That makes two big bodies for the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah Surratt and Malachi Field. Hey, man. Rounding out things, man.
Yeah. I thought about some of the running backs, like the Oregon running back I like a lot. I thought about Drew Aller for a second as well, because you're going to need a developmental quarterback at some point. But it's like, man, if Malachi Fields falls this far, it's at least enticing enough to try and shoot the shot.
Yeah.
A lot of these late round receivers are so interesting, all in their own ways.
They are. The wide receiver class is really deep.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, right? Because last year it didn't feel that way at all. But you see, like, your Barryon Brown, Earl Whites, like those guys, like, they're interesting.
They are. I like the other kid from Oklahoma, too. What's his name? I think he's Latino.
There's the other guy who was considered right there. Who I think
you talking about Satania?
Yeah, Centennial. I like Centennial.
Oh yeah.
I like him. All right. How many more picks we got? Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to take. You already took the tight end though, didn't you? Yeah, you took the tight end.
Yeah.
All right. So then I'm gonna go Le'Veon Moss.
Just please stay healthy, young man.
Yeah, I love Le'Veon Moss. We might have to jump into his film because I don't think people know how good he is and can be.
He just needs to stay healthy.
All right, Coach, you are up.
Go to quarterbacks for me.
Quarterbacks?
Yes. Let's see who's out there.
All right. Jalen Daniels.
I like
that
him.
kid at Kansas.
Take Mr. Attitude.
Diego Pava will be the craziest pick. Okay. For some odd reason, I'm liking Haynes King. However, oh man, all right, go to all. Oh man, I thought that was the DB puns. I was about to say, what?
That would never happen. He'll never be here this late.
Yeah, I was about to say, what? Oh, go to offense.
Something has gone wrong terribly.
Offense, I think he's listed as a tackle on
Guys, it turns out he's 5'3".
And then go to tackles. Yeah, I think he's a tackle. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yep.
Hey, you know what it is? Look, 283, Markel Bell. Let me get him.
Woo! Coach cooking.
This is a draft.
Markel Bell.
Draft.
Hey, speaking of D'Angelo Pons, the guy who killed D'Angelo Pons in a game, Markel Bell. That man disintegrated D'Angelo Pons' existence in a game. Woo, look at that draft.
That draft's crazy.
God, I'd crash out if this was our draft. I'd be throwing things in the air.
Matt, can you full screen it so I can get a picture of it?
He's like, hold up. I need to screenshot this masterpiece.
Good Lord, look at that mark.
Don't you wish that's a way?
That is a draft. Let me take a picture.
Gentlemen, I think we'd all cry on draft day if this were the case. So here's a joy coming from our.
Hey, look, when we mock, we mock.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That is that'd be a great draft, man, if we can get that. First post mentor getting the head coach job. This is what we came up with.
Best squad. God, that's honestly the best mock draft I've seen trying to do them.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
We all got.
I mean, you get Peter Woods, Jennings Dunker, Romello Height, Jacob Rodriguez, Derek Moore,
Keontae Scott,
Elijah Surratt, yeah. Malachi Fields, Le'Veon Bell, and Markel Bell. Gee Louise. Boy, we're redrafting.
Yeah, that's nuts. That would be nuts right here.
Absolutely.
This is the dream, right?
Absolutely the dream, man. So Jesse, just in closing, Jesse Minter is a Raven. What do we think? So PFF just did a Jesse Minter era begins Ravens mock draft, and I want to show you guys real quick. Hold on, show you what they did. They did a 3-rounder.
Crazy that you're the
Coach might be
PFF
happy
page.
about this.
That's crazy that you're the PFF page with premium, so you could have done rounds, and you're like, nah.
No, hell no. They want you to pay like $30 or something for that.
I know, but it's PFF.
This is what PFF paid.
I don't love it.
What do you think?
I don't hate it.
Keldrick Falk, Emmanuel Pregnon, and Skylar Bell. Now, I do like Keldrick Falk a lot. No, not Keldrick Falk. I'm sorry. I love Emmanuel Pregnon a lot.
Yeah, I like Pregnon.
Yeah, I love Pregnon a lot. Falk is. I mean, Coach, you give us some insight, some intel. You're an Auburn guy, so.
I mean, his effort is going to be there. I just feel like he's not going to influence every play. They run right at him, obviously, of course. And then there's some inconsistencies when it comes down to it as well. I just feel like, to me, he's not twitchy enough for what we want. Like if we had a bona fide, hey, okay, these guys not going to get off the line, and he can go out and get some coverage sacks, of course, this would be phenomenal, a phenomenal pick. The other thing about it too is, like, is he going to win his one-on-one every time? Because there have been times where he hasn't won his one-on-one every time. He's a great athlete. Now, if you're sitting here saying, hey, look, I need him to be, the boundary guy, and they're running away from him, he's phenomenal in that aspect to be able to chase people down and whatnot. I just feel like, hey, again, if he's the guy to say, okay, look, just win your one-on-one week in and week out, I just don't think that's going to happen consistently enough, right? I think he's a middle-of-the-pack type of sack guy. He's not going to give you the 15 to 20 sacks that most Raven fans will probably think if we take him at 14. And I just think we're going to be set up to be let down a little bit. And I think it's going to take a little bit of time to get him there. So
my thing with him is, like, you take him at 14, it's a boring pick, right? Like, he's not terrible by any means, but it's like he's not going to be the thing that's going to, like, get you over the top. He's not going to be that sexy pick at 14 that anybody wants to make after waiting this long to have a pick in the top 15. Like, he'll be a fine player. He won't be the reason you fail a draft, but he won't be the reason you succeed a draft either. But, like, Pregnon on the other side, like, man, if run offense was as cared about as pass offense, he would be right up there with Vega. Because his run blocking is ferocious. He is a ferocious run blocker. He's just not as good in the pass game as Vega is. It kind of depends on which flavor you like in between those two. Now, most teams are going to pick for the pass blocking guard versus the run blocking guard. But, like, man, I think he's a stud. Everything else there, though, like, it just wouldn't move me personally.
What is your guys' thoughts about Skylar Bell?
It's kind of the same thought I honestly have with Keldrick Falk. Like, it doesn't move me in any direction.
He's a good player, though.
He's a good player, though. Like, exactly. Like, but I don't think he's bad. But I don't think it's, like, the thing that, like, makes me feel like it's over the top. But I guess, like, I would have to see what they would do with the other rounds, right? Because, like, this is the first 3 rounds. With the first 3 rounds, it seems like not that as fun to me. But, like, okay, you have a 4 through 7 that, like, masks everything else. Then, like, I don't care. But, like, to me, if you're going to go wide receiver, like, I would rather just take a guy who's, like, high at something, right? Like, I know I'm a Ted Hurst guy. I know I'm a Barry Brown guy. I've known guys like that. But even, like, outside of that, like, if like, you're reaching it in the 3rd round for it, I just feel like there are going to be more available players at more positions that, like, will be more of an impact than Skylar Bell. You tell me you get Skylar Bell in, like, round 4, I'm ecstatic. Like, I'm thrilled out of my mind. But for where we're picking in round 3 without trading back, I wouldn't feel that great about it.
Yeah, for me, I think it's all about the wide receiver room itself, right? And I just feel like we have this.
It reminds me too much of Zay. Yeah, I was just about to say, he reminds me too much of Zay. Yeah. But you agree, Coach? He reminds you of Zay?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where I'm and particularly where, yeah, going from -20 down to the red zone, that would be great. But what does it look like when you get these small receivers in confined space and you got to throw it over the top? How many times are guys going to go up and out jump a player or win a 50-50 ball? Because at the end of the day, right, if I got that particular threat, then that's where the defense is going to be looking. Case in point, that's why your tight ends get doubled or get chipped in the red zone because they know they're high probability to catch those passes. So if you have that in your repertoire as a core, wide receiver core, then I don't have to deploy my tight end to do it. So I just feel like, hey, that's what I would go for when it comes down to taking the wide receiver room to the next level.
Love it, man. Love it, man. So I'm excited about the future now. I mean, now we know who the coach is. I kind of gotten to the point where I had coaching carousel fatigue, where I just was like, I just wanted, just tell me who the coach is, bro. Like, I don't, like, at this point, I'm ready to ride,
When especially for us, right? It's like we're making mock drafts, we're doing all this stuff. Like, we don't know what the mock draft's going to look like until we know who's there. Like, it just doesn't work. Like, for me to know who I think you should draft, I need to know what the heck you're going to do.
Yeah, exactly. We need to know what the mentality is going to be, right? Mm-hmm. What's the approach? And it's kind of hard to know that if you don't know who the coach is, right? So I was kind of happy to get okay, who is it? All right, even if it's not my guy, cool. I just want to know who is it. And I'm excited about it. So as we wrap here, we might be coming back again later. We'll take a little bit of a break here. We've been going for a minute. But let's go out with some sights and sounds of the Baltimore Ravens' new head coach, Jesse Minter. Let's listen to what Coach has to say when he's mic'd up.
Hey, let's play a little football. Side view, don't even break stride. Vertical. Run through it. Good. Press the line of scrimmage. Get downhill. Woo! Just striking people over here.
I just was noticing how Tuna has been getting in first at
every drill.
Every drill I flick out.
Yeah.
You can see him
every drill.
Taking it seriously, jumping up there and leading.
Yeah.
Got to compliment him on that after practice in front of everybody.
Yeah. Love it. There it is, Don. Hey, that's it. He was cooked. Hey, tell him to run to the ball. All right, tell the front, run to the ball. Good, break. Good, nice job. Space. Hey, let's talk now. Let's talk. Anticipate motion. Good, nice job talking. Good. AJ, great job talking.
Joe, you been game? A little bit. Yeah. I've been a little bit.
Madden?
Guru right there, coach. I'm a real DC out there now, coach. On that Madden, I dial some stuff, coach.
What do you play? Like, what's your go-to?
So I do like Ultimate Team. You can play with like past and present players. So I got Dion. I got like.
Oh, you're stacked.
Night Train Lane, Ray Lewis. I got all
on one team?
Yeah, all on one team. Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss.
See, my son's not into video games yet. I'm waiting for him to be.
Oh, he will.
Like,
you're like
I haven't played video games.
My son into monster truck video games. So he like the big truck game. Bro, I give him the controller. I ain't got to do nothing. He loving it. Your son,
did you go to the rally monster truck thing?
Yeah.
How was it?
It's fire. More fun than him. But loud ass engines. I'm like, go, they flipping it all. Like, hey, this is fun. Everyone fun.
A little giddy in the hallway. When I came out to the field.
Like, oh,
that's why he's
so
excited.
Got those two out here. They're great dudes. Oh, pick that. Job, Zot. Good job, Low. Way to talk. Man, I'm telling you, dude, Troy had so much length out there. Troy, like in pass coverage, I'm telling you, like that guy can play.
Go ahead, flip it around.